truth, the lies, and politics. Informative, educative, and analytical. Getting to the real issues that affect an ordinary individual in areas of leadership, governance, social, and economy. The truth, the lies, and politics.
We do welcome you back to The Truth, Lies and Politics here on Spirit TV, and having a wonderful conversation within the break about our journey as a country, our journey as a nation, and also we have in studio Mr. Charles Romushana, who is a former spy but also a political analyst, and we have Mr. Egesa Ronald Leonard, who is a business and political strategist on this show. And we were having the conversation around the independence, where the power lies, and where we are at as a nation. And Mr. Egesa was adding to the point that he was belaboring this evening. Please continue from where we were.
Okay, thank you. I was submitting that from the time we got independence, assumed independence, we haven't really had a sovereign on these shores. The sovereign, still the actual sovereign. You see, why I'm saying that is I always try to look at two things, realism and idealism. Idealism, yeah. Now, I tend to lean towards realism, okay. Yeah, and not idealism. Okay. So, in reality, the people calling the shots are not here, and they have never been here, not even a single day. Yeah. So the even when they tell you, yes. Even when they tell you that Idi Amin was a bad president, yeah, in Uganda, there is a detail that Idi Amin was brought to power and maintained in power by foreign forces. He only became weak and collapsed to Tanzanian occupation after the foreign forces lost interest in him. Yeah?
Even that decision to send away.
Because he blundered. I think he got excited, and made a few blunders, and then they pulled out, and then he became weak, and the collapse was inevitable.
What could have been those blunders?
Yeah. No, before I go there, I want to first of all build the point that we have always had the sovereign out of this country. Okay. Yeah. Let's now move to President Museveni, for example. For 63 years of independence, 39 of them President Museveni, 24 of them the 7 other gentlemen who have occupied State House. Yeah? They shared amongst them 24 years. 24 years, yes. Not even fully 24, like 23 something. And now close to 40 for President Museveni. One individual. Yeah? So even President Museveni himself, if you asked him, there are things which are very clear. If you asked him if he wants to have elections, he would tell you he wouldn't want to have elections. And that's why you see that in the NRM party, where he calls the shots, and doesn't need to consult anybody, he has never subjected himself to an election.
Yes, it's always
this is evidence. I'm not making it up.
Yeah.
I have told people that even in the bush, when after the merger with Professor Yusuf Lule's group and they created the NRA and NRM, after the demise of Professor Lule, there is no record of an election happening. President Museveni was the vice chairperson by virtue of being the chairperson, the leader of the military wing, automatically became chairperson, but no election was held. So he fears elections. He doesn't believe in elections. Yeah. Now he only carries out elections at the national level because of what I've told you, that the sovereign is not here. Yeah. The sovereign demands that you must put up a show that you are holding elections. So it is not a decision of President Museveni. He is not a Democrat that he would want to have elections. Yeah?
Quite interesting,
Yeah, so that is one. Okay. Number two, even if you asked him about his policies and what aspirations he had as a leader who had taken over power in Uganda in 1986, it's not exactly what he implemented thereafter. If you just go back to the 90s, yeah, you remember 88, 89, he was even doing barter trade. There's a time he sent out to Bijanjalo to North Korea. But there was a lot of pressure from the West.
That's how Obote used to describe barter trade.
Yes.
I give you Mogo, you give me Kalo.
So now, so in the early 90s, we have the SAPs. Where were they coming from? From the West. Where they
instructed to it's the time we had the conversation around privatization and everything like
so
that.
these are not things that President Museveni believed in. They were imposed on him by the sovereign. So the point I'm trying to make is that when the British left, they left in bad faith. So they left a back door that they would still use to control us and decide the destiny that we were going to take as a people. So that back door was in a weak and feeble state. Yeah? Because you see, a strong state guarantees changes of government. You can change from one government to another. But they left a weak and feeble state, and it has remained so until today.
It gets weaker?
The state in Uganda has never become any stronger. It is weak. That's why you see that riots of less than 100,000 people in Kampala always threaten to overthrow government. You see, when you see, you remember Kayunga 2009? Even 2020, November 2020, yeah? What we have been praising as the military establishment controlling power, you can see that it always presses the panic button. Yeah? And they will do things which are out of this world. Yeah? Why? Because the creators of this polity, Uganda, made sure that as they were leaving, they maintained a weak and feeble state.
That they can influence.
Yeah, which they can always influence by just getting a few individuals. You get a handful of individuals and then give them a semblance of power. A few caretaker individuals, give them a semblance of power that they're the ones holding the levers of power and holding the state together. Yeah, that is one. Now, I want to agree with, okay, maybe before I go to the submission by Charles. In 1980, after the immediate post-Amin government, he talked of the Tanzanian occupation. I do agree. That was an attempt by Nyerere to try and play sovereign.
It was an attempt, or he actually played sovereign?
It was an attempt because it didn't last forever. Yeah.
They handed over.
Yes. So the British could not allow that to continue. Yeah. So the British could not allow that to continue. That is why you see that the Obote government that resulted from the Tanzanian occupation faced a lot of problems. Armed rebellions. Armed rebellions which, of course, had the blessing of the British.
So you protect, you see.
So he talks of refugees. They had the blessings of the British. Some of whom stayed around and got jobs in state institutions.
And ran powerful offices.
Yes, the propaganda by the British Broadcasting Corporation was not against the military, the rebels in the bush. So what I'm trying to show you is that the British could not allow an African to play sovereign in an African state. Yeah. So Nyerere's attempt was nipped in the bud. Then we move to now, so Obote now is overthrown by his military generals. Again, we go back to the weak and feeble state. A military is a key institution in the state. Yeah. So they overthrow him. And then now you come up with the NRA. So the NRA starts playing, its politics, like he has explained ably well. So I want to fast forward to 1994.
94?
Constituent Assembly delegates are elected, so you go into the Constituent Assembly. Now, out of that constitution, I read two things. By the way, I was a young boy. I was a young boy when that constitution was promulgated. This is the 30th anniversary of the promulgation of the constitution. He was and I started reading that constitution then.
At that young
age? I was very passionate about politics. I read that constitution from that time.
What were things that...
Now, and there were a lot of, we were so idealistic about the whole thing. When we believed, that was the time when the West was carrying propaganda that President Museveni belongs to the new breed of African leaders and all these kind of things. So in 1995 Constitution, I read out two things. One, it created a possibility of two dictatorships in practice.
In what sense?
The Constitution provided, you see, there is the Constitution in theory, and in practice, what would come out of it. The first and most likely scenario, and what actually turned out to be the case, is that you could have a presidential dictatorship or a parliamentary dictatorship. That is the first option. The second option would be now the ideal scenario. But that was always going to be less likely. So now, with the first option of a presidential dictatorship or a parliamentary dictatorship, one can only happen when it emasculates the other. So it was only natural that a person who had been morphing from the chairman of the military high command and the Army Council would move very fast and pull the presidential dictatorship and emasculate parliament. And he started that process right from the day the Constitution was promulgated. He started the process of emasculation of Parliament. And he has, over the years, bastardized Parliament and made it ineffective. That's why I call it a castrated Parliament.
Even with the huge numbers.
That is the whole process. You see, because Parliament is not about numbers. It shouldn't be about numbers.
Ideas. And
you see, for people to feel represented, it's not about numbers. So the whole process of gerrymandering and bloating the size of Parliament and all that, it is a process that was necessary for President Museveni to entrench himself in power. He could not entrench himself in power if he had not emasculated Parliament.
With a smaller number that had the power.
So if he had left, suppose, let us assume that he was a Democrat and
he left the 54 districts that we initially had.
And he felt that maybe Parliament should be the people's house, check executive and all those kind of things. We would never have President Museveni in power today.
Would not even have had that constitution.
Because for him, so for him, he understood what to do with Parliament, how to deal with it, how to finish it. So he finished Parliament, and then he was able to continue to entrench himself in power.
Quite interesting.
Now, do the people that are outside there that I'm calling the sovereign not see these things? They see those things, but it's a deal. The caretaker is in a deal.
Yes, it's an argument.
So the caretakers we've been having here crack a deal with the sovereign who is away.
Wow.
To continue.
Yes.
Keeping us in, the saying that keep them busy, take them nowhere. So we are kept busy in the election cycles and we are heading nowhere. If you ask if there is a qualitative leap from the elections we've been holding since 1996 up to date, there is nothing. There is no qualitative improvement in the elections we've been holding. It remains a facade. The elections have remained a facade right from 1996 up to date.
We still have a protagonist.
You can see, let me tell you, when President Museveni ruled for the first 20 years, for instance, he thought that he could actually beat the sovereign in the Western world, to their game. He invented what he called a movement system. And he said that this is a system which prioritizes individual merit in electoral politics. That you come and you stand as an individual and you are elected as an individual and then you go and serve in the institutions where you're supposed to serve. What happened? First and foremost, pressure mounted, and he had to be forced to go back to what they call political pluralism. Why? You cannot try to, as a caretaker, you cannot outsmart the sovereign. You cannot invent a new system which is not alien to them or which does not serve their purposes.
Yes.
Yeah? You see, that movement system, by the way, when you listen to the pitch that President Museveni used to make about it, you could see that when it comes to dividing people and all that, yes, he had strong points there. Yeah? But these guys did not want that to happen, that he's going to steal credit, to take credit,
yes.
And be credited with inventing a new form of governance.
Yeah.
So pressure mounted, and of course he was defeated. So, but of course, you see, President Museveni is a person who has an instinct of survival. So he quickly morphed and said, okay, I will go into multi-partyism. But what he did is similar to, you know, when we were still in primary school those days, somebody could have a mango, and you keep asking for the mango, and then when he realizes the pressure the demand on the mango is too much, he spits on it.
So that you lose interest.
You lose interest. Okay. So that is now the bastardization. So he switched back to political pluralism after the 2005 referendum, which he clearly knew that, of course, multipartyism will carry the day, and then decided to spit on the mango.
Can I pause you right there? And very, very interesting, but also beautiful submission right there. And I'd like to get to Charles. And Charles, you've seen the state from the inside, all right? From your view, I know you've given the perspective of the authority and where we are. Are Ugandans more secure? Are Ugandans more united? Do you think they are freer today than they were decades ago?
We have two layers of security. The security of the citizen and the security of the state. So if we agree that the state does not belong to the people of Uganda, then what is it? It's a tool against the people of Uganda.
The security that is meant.
For the state.
Okay, for the state. Okay. Yes.
The state is not the people's state. So this state is a tool because it's been usurped. So the one who usurped it, the family that usurped it, now uses it to control and regulate the population. Yes. Because the population can generate power to regain its sovereignty, and if it was to regain its sovereignty, it would hang the other ones. Or would negotiate with them, whatever the scenario you want, especially on the scenarios. So, that's the same scenario in Libya that you saw in Libya. There was a time when the state was vested in Gaddafi. Okay. So here, like the way you see, the state in Saudi Arabia is vested in the Saudi family. It is, you can. Now, so is the population secure? Secure from who?
All right.
So if you had a foreign power coming to overthrow Museveni's family, chances are high that some of the population would jubilate with it.
That foreign power.
In other words, they will not see.
People will actually dance themselves.
Not all. Not
some
all.
people.
Probably I wouldn't join them. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is that that some population would not feel insecure seeing another foreign army enter.
That's true. That's true.
So therefore, this state is not securing the population against the foreign force, which is the purpose of the army. So the purpose of the army is to secure the state which belongs to unity, to group, whether family, whether whatever. If you agree with me, the family sovereignty now that controls the state. The enemy of that state is the population. So when you see a minister, a president heavily secured on the road, it is because the enemy, the population is an assumed enemy.
If you're observant.
Yes, you assume this population is an enemy, and so you will find heavy weapons deployed, but they are deployed against this population, agitation, because it can grow into an army and regain its sovereignty. So do you have freedom? Yes, freedom is now negotiated. You don't have freedom to choose your own to occupy State House.
In those rooms, you have to negotiate.
Yeah. Yes, you have freedom is limited. I think we are more or less reaching some understanding that if you don't disturb me, you can do your own things. You can litter rubbish the way you want. You can ride border borders the way you want, provided you don't. Have you found border borders parked at the gate of State House?
What are they doing?
No, have you seen any?
Never. Never.
You can go and park anywhere you want to park. Kavuyo, Suso on the roadside, but there no. There is some conversation about you born again groups who pray loudly at night. Saying, please reduce a bit. You will have some understanding with then the traffic jams when he's passing, but after he has passed, then you can pass. So there is some bit of understanding which is coming, and then a conversation with the political elite. Increase your salary, come to parliament, and you're given some money. Or you are given a discipline, because like when he went to
today he has told you that he didn't agree, but he left them.
Yes.
For them to increase their salary.
And now he went to Lango and he said, but now what do I do? What do I do? Okay, yield. You can now have your upper district. I yield.
I've given it to you.
You have. Because that's what they're asking. There is one who asked for a 9-9. The pickup. The chairman had C5.
You wanted it.
He said, please give the DPC car. Okay, have. Instead of you asking for more authority over the district, even to control police. Because states in America now are battling the president on the control of police.
Yes.
The president is saying, now I want to control your city. He said, no, we have crime fine, but we'll manage it ourselves. That's why the debate is. But this one, the chairman of C5, what he's asking the president, not even the Minister of Internal Affairs, not even IGP.
Yes.
Because the chairman of C5 should be able to write to chairman IDP or the Minister of Internal Affairs and say, give our police officer a pickup. But Mr. President, now that I have seen you, to Morocco.
Isn't that a strategy to have?
And I'm trying to show you.
Centralized to
so now he's having an understanding with the elite, the peasants, and on the clientele. I have some money, and we had it with the colonial state.
That is how we behave.
We also had it. They would give you a few things, Milo land, they give you the crown land. The crown land, you share. So sooner or later, you will find some people would be given total ownership of districts. So for avoidance of doubt, Ruhinda something shall belong to Kayundo Tafiri and his successors.
That is there.
Yes, and the deal is signed, and you know it. Those arrangements, the trajectory, those arrangements are coming. Why? Because he is the sovereign, he has the state, and now he is negotiating with the population on how to coexist in this land with a powerless population. And I'm not saying it's bad.
Why are you saying it's bad? Because the perspective of
I'm only saying
good for everyone.
All these countries around the world,
some do. Some
that's how they are structured.
No, not all. Some do. Some states accept. I think even in Thailand, you can't even talk about the king. Even the prime minister, they would throw you out and imprison you. In North Korea, it's a different story. Now, I think Egypt now, the sovereignty is in the National Council of some organ. Yes. So, it's only that we didn't agree. I only don't want that lie that one, we are sovereign, that the power belongs to us. No, we don't. And two, that this arrangement is agreed. But if you conquer a people, you establish your own system. And have no problem with it. It's if the population wants to recover their sovereignty.
No, so in other words, you're saying we have a Lugard whom at least we are related to somehow.
The other Lugard.
See, it's just the different.
You see, you had the settler and you had the native. You get, he defined himself as a settler and he defined you as
a native.
As a native. Actually, it's dehumanization. So if you want to be the sovereign, struggle for it. The Chinese at Lukaya, Ruera, with that rice project, that is more powerful than you. He's more sovereign than you. Decisions are made with them.
In your own country.
No, it cannot be your country. Because tomorrow you go to apply for an identity card and they refuse you. So what do you do?
It's possible.
Yes. So I cannot say you own the country. You are an object. You are an object, you are a subject.
Even when you say you own a piece of land.
The one who took it now owns you. You are owned. Yes. You are owned. You
know, so the negotiation is actually very complex, even with religious institutions. It is still a negotiation. I always tell people this whole thing of saying, oh, you're going to wed in church, that's a facade. Government controls all marriages.
Yes. You have to register.
Yeah, so there's a weak
church
negotiation.
Goes to the government to register those certificates.
Thank you. So the church actually has no power.
Only recognized certificate outside.
Yes. So the church actually has no power.
So you are a subject of charity. Yes.
Benevolence.
Charity. So you say, okay, I will give you a road. How do you give me a road if I'm the one who has paid taxes? You get?
That's why I call it crookery.
Yes. So, but why he gives you a road? Because the country is his. So you have an arrangement, and because you are too poor, he says, okay, when you consume. You know, Mtebiri was saying, but how about these pellets?
The extra pellets.
Hey, how about the Nakali Mahero? After all, I have never read the report. So you are not sovereign, and therefore, because your sovereignty should be reflected in parliament, and you don't have a parliament, but you have an assembly of some people who right now have seen the Shagurana gang. They have signed.
They have agreed to be part of iPod.
They have already signed. Please, talk Kasenti. Want money?
What 1.4 billion?
Yes, we want money. They badly need that money. Please. When can we sign a memorandum of understanding? You get? So, it depends on what you want. If you want to claim this territory to be yours, you therefore don't have freedom to stay here. No, you don't have it. You are here at the pleasure of somebody. That's why you hear some Banyarwanda say, complaining, we are not being given identity card, we are not being given. You don't have the right to liberty in relation to the state. Because you can be in prison because of the state, but you can also be in prison because the other owner of the state doesn't want. It's it's a conversation, but I don't know which direction it will take eventually, because there is agitation.
Yes.
And the agitation is as a result of the near collapse
of the
population, the economy. has collapsed, and therefore the tools of management of the economy, the fiscal policy and the monetary policy, are no longer responsive. They can't work. The economy can't respond to the tools. So the only thing now you have to do is to go and give money directly. PDM, PPM, whatever it is. You to give money directly. Money cannot move through fiscal and monetary policies.
In line with that, Charles, I'll get to Mr. Egesa, and I know he's a business strategist. You know, our forefathers dreamt of a self-reliant, or for our leaders, self-reliant.
And even the NRM 10-point program had it.
The 10 points. It's the time he broke down the 10-point program and said, what program was that? But being self-reliant, we're looking at production and not just consumption. But 60 years plus later, are we closer to economic freedom or still basically?
I'm not going to go into the business angle. I'm going to still concentrate on the politics.
On the politics. We first sort out the politics.
I'll tell you, was Milton Obote, former president, used to be Minister of Finance as well.
He held two.
If you remember, if you recall. He was the Minister of Finance.
Obote, as the President and Minister of Finance.
Even now I'm saving the Minister of Finance.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming.
It's years, okay.
So what I'm trying to show you, the determinants of power here
have set
the military and the treasury. Yeah, those are the two tools you must have. Yeah, the moment you lose control of those, I was reading the memoirs of one Openito. I don't know if you came across those. They were actually serialized on social media some years back. He was talking about there's a time when President Amin also wanted money from the central bank. And he said he wanted to take $2 million as a gift to President Mobutu in Zaire. And the central bank governor told him that, Your Excellency, it's not possible. He told him, make sure I have that money tomorrow morning. And the money was produced and delivered to State House. They had to print the equivalence of $2 million and delivered it. And then, so in other words, what I'm trying to drive at is that there is nothing that President Museveni is doing politically for political preservation that also President Obote didn't do. They might define ideologies and beliefs, but
more or less,
at the end of the day, they all loved to control and concentrate power. Yeah, they believe in having a central command. Where power is vested rather than devolving the power. So that's why you see President Obote collapsed what was a quasi-federal system and created a republic which had a central government. Now, I want to come to President Museveni. He talks about the collapse of fiscal systems. Yeah.
Hence giving
both
the money
the superstructure, some structure of that system collapsed. Not because President Museveni is incompetent and is not able to lead a country. It's not because of that. It is because politically he prefers that those institutions do not become strong.
It's an intentional.
So it's an intentional thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's an intentional thing, and that is how he entrenches himself in power, and he consolidates his own hold on to power. He consolidates power.
Yes.
Now, what happens is that is what we call the bad behavior. So there, of course, when people are talking about, right now the conversation that is going on right now is about 30 years of the Constitution. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, in different circles. On Friday I've been invited to go and attend a conference somewhere on the Constitution. And most of the people...
Mao has words around that. Yes.
Now people are talking about the Constitution. They keep saying President Museveni bribed MPs in 2005 to remove the term limit, then he bribed them in 2017. Yeah, that is all politics. It could be bad manners. It could be bad behavior. Yeah. So the only thing you can charge President Museveni in those cases is on moralistic grounds, not on legal grounds.
Why?
He never broke any law. It was in the law that Parliament could actually do what it did. So the motivation notwithstanding.
Okay.
So the motivation of the MPs to scrap term limits would have been financial, but in reality he did not break the law.
There was an allowance within the law, within the constitution.
It's the same discussion we had in 2017 during the Tojikwatako, the age limit removal. He did not break the law, apart from the military raid on parliament.
Yeah.
That is why I have reservations, because that, of course, was now exposing who exactly is the ultimate arbiter of power in Uganda. But the act of wanting to change the constitution, they did not break the law. But on moralistic grounds, you fault him. You say he did not stick to his words. He has kept on, backtracking on his words.
We've had the Chief Justice
bad behavior.
Make mention of something that the framers of the 1995 Constitution, how didn't they see that there was a loophole?
No, the drafters. The drafters of the Constitution were not politicians, they were legal minds.
Okay.
Wasn't Professor Kanyayamba the chair of the legal drafting committee of the Constitution?
So they didn't
these were legal. You see, legal purists are totally detached from political realities.
Okay.
That's why I keep telling lawyers that lawyers, please forget the things you are trained in law school when you come to playing politics.
But the vast majority in the
that is why they are always played around with. That is why you see that President Museveni will always use them, dump them, pick others. If you look at the people who have consolidated President Museveni stay in power, for example, they are lawyers. Because lawyers, the training of a lawyer makes the lawyer an idealist. Who starts thinking that, nobody is above the law. That is idealistic thinking. In reality, in political reality, that the politician who holds power in the day is above the law.
Or is actually the law.
Is above the law. Yes. That is why you see, so the sovereign in a country is above the law.
Yes.
The president in Uganda is above the law.
Yes.
In practice, is above the law. And it is a behavior which was copied from the UK. When they said that, because they said, okay, what if the king, the person sitting on the crown, the king or the queen, knocks somebody, are they going to be taken in? So they created a practice that the crown is above the law. So even here, that's why you hear people telling you cannot take a president and prosecute a president in a court of law when he's a sitting president. So he's above the law. But the lawyers will tell you that, nobody is above the law. That is being unrealistic. They are not being realistic. So if we are talking about real politics, the most powerful politician of the day is always above the law. So he can get away with whatever he wants to get away with.
That's what we see here on today, every on our roads, in some conversations. Charles, you seem to be having a thought process when it comes to that. We have about 4 minutes and we need 2 years with what he has said.
Yes, you see, sovereignty is about the source of the law. It's not that the law doesn't have power in either. The law will always have power, but the question now is, what is the source of that law? So is the source of that law the general will of the population, or the source of that law is a different sovereign? So if the source of the law is the general population, then the population is sovereign. That's why now we agree on the modalities on how they will assemble to make that law. And we have decided, therefore, in the CA that once the sovereign have made a law and the president does not sign it, it still becomes law. Because they are the source of law.
Of law, yes.
But in practice, they are not the source of law. That's why the amendment of the Constitution to remove age limit did not emanate from the population. it came from the family. It was only merely given to Majezi to come and read the resolution of the family to the other assembly. So, now once you have this, once you have the law, who is going to enforce the law? And that's the state. So we said, okay, you the state, you are for the sovereign. So power is shared. And now then you have the law restricting the power of the state. You get in relation to the sovereign. And that's what brings in the Bill of Rights. That the state can take away your liberty, but this liberty must not go beyond 48 hours. And there should be a neutral body. First and foremost, there should be a DPP to ensure that there is a case. And then there should be a neutral body to look at it. But even this neutral body is given limitations, yes. Cases only trial by High Court. If they have not started the trial, 6 months you must get bail. Now, basically you can't.
But what is the reality on the ground?
Basically you can't. You are now having an exchange between Besige and the judge and court.
Why is not allowing him to speak?
No, I'm saying he's allowed him. He's told him you're incompetent. I mean, that's how. But you see, the constitution was very clear. After 6 months, go. And the guy says, let me count. I am not aware you were in the court martial, therefore those I don't count. You cannot bring evidence that you were in Rosara. Otherwise, how did Rosara accept you if there was no document? So the judge counted, I think, in some base, I don't know whether it was base 30 or base 10, whatever base, and he arrived at, so no, 6 months, Sakuna. So you
must have been base 4.
So therefore, this document cannot guarantee, cannot restrict the power of the state. But this state is again under control.
Right.
So what you were saying that the president is not under, is above the law, because he's in control of the state. And how are you going to enforce the law without the? That's why you see Kuleije erroneously believes that the order is established by the army and the police merely keeps it. That's incorrect. The order is established by the people.
Supposed to be.
The people are orderly. All right. Because you have sat together and agreed to form a state, so you are orderly. It's not that you were disorganized group. Then how would we make parliament if we are not ordered? And he's a spokesperson of the army.
We need to stop there, Charles.
Very massive.
We need to stop there, Charles. But a big thank you to Mr. Egesa. This has been very, very, very informative, but also very beneficial and fruitful. Also, Mr. Charles Romushana, thank you very much. Our verse of the day is coming from Philippians chapter 2, verse 10. It says that at the name of Jesus every knee shall bow, and those of heaven, and those on earth, and those under earth. And so, happy 63 years, Uganda. We just pray that this translates into many other sectors in our lives, but also as a country, we stay with hope. We stay with hope. We don't die. Let's keep the hope of what has been said. We still have these guests next week, and we'll continue our conversations. Otherwise, let's pray. Lord, we thank you for the wonderful time, for the wonderful conversations we have had. We pray that they will open minds and get people thinking and have another direction and thought processes to make better our lives. We also commit the leadership and the authorities, and we pray, Lord, that you'll guide and lead. Even as we head back home, may your protection be upon us, may your guidance, may your wisdom be upon us. In Jesus' name pray. Amen. And thank you once again, Mr. Egesa, for coming. Thank you, Mr. Charles Romushana, for coming. And thank you, the audience, for listening and watching and being able to continue. Thank you, the technical team. for ensuring that this is aired. God bless you and have a good evening.
The truth, the lies, and politics. Informative, educative, and analytical. Getting to the real issues that affect an ordinary individual in areas of leadership, governance, social, and economy. The truth, the lies, and politics.